Buongiorno all'Italy. Thank you, Marius, for the warm words and the introduction. Special thanks also for Nicole, who organized the whole event today. And as Marius already mentioned, I'm working for IDRAL, which is a small family-owned business in the northern part of Italy, so close to the Swiss border. We partied our 50th birthday last year, unfortunately in the wrong year, but let's say anyway, 50 years was a nice target to get to. Now we need to look for the next 50. We are about 50 employees, and we're doing about 10 million euros of turnover, which is constantly increasing. We're exporting to 60 countries in the whole world. Main countries are obviously Italy as our home market, but also to faraway countries like South America. There is Chile or South Africa. You're concerned in this, or Australia, New Zealand. They're a bit all over the world, spread over. Usually in this period of the year, Marius mentioned it before in our small talk, he's coming over with a group of architects and planners to visit us, to make a trip in Europe and especially in Italy. There are several suppliers and we are one of them. It's a bit of pity that this occasion is not could not be taken in the past 2 years. But I would like to start to show you a bit how we are organized and what we are doing. And it's a small film, takes just some minutes.
Jürgen, we don't have any sound on the videos.
Okay, we have a look.
So maybe can you restart also from the beginning of the video?
Yeah, of course. Let me have a look if I can rise up this. Okay. I don't know if it's linked to my audio. How about that? Better?
Yeah, it's working now. Now we can't see the video. Just share your video. Just share your screen, please. Jürgen, it's still only the music. We can't see the video on our side.
Okay. Let's regardless this. How about now? Can see now?
Yes, Marius? We can see. Yeah, we can see.
Okay, now we should go.
Now it's working. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you can see there's a lot of passion in this video, but it's exactly as we are working. So dynamic environment, very tidy and obviously environmentally friendly. As mentioned by Marius before, we are specialized in the niche of the sanitary ware market. We are not supplying taps for the private bathroom, but especially for the public facilities. So our main products are the taps. That's known. That's probably the main argument we are supplying to the markets. But we offer also solutions for fixtures, so wash basins, shower trays, WCs, especially for elderly homes and disabled people, and a lot of other articles that normally fit in these public facilities. The argument, which is for us the first, is the dialogue with our clients, and together we develop solutions, and we try to find for problems that might be in the environment of the bathroom present. We try to find the best solution for that, and from time to time we are lucky, we find very nice innovationally products. One of that is the next. And this is a quite remarkable product because with this we abandon the classic path of a single purpose design to the point of a system solution. So you're not just having a tap for the water and maybe some soap dispenser, and somewhere else in the bathroom you find the hairdryer or a bit of paper to dry your hands, but you have a complete system combined and compact in the bathroom, and it's also particularly identified for wheelchair users because you don't have any sharp edges or problems in that case. The material we are using is solid surface, which is antibacterial. So also in the period of Corona, obviously this is a big advantage. It's flexible in the design, gives you a lot of freedom to design a solution that fits in the bathroom you need to design. The next slide, there is an example of several of these items in a row. You can use them in airports or also in highway stations. There are different solutions with the upper mirror or just with spaces underneath the wash basin, and it's easy to combine. It's a bit bulky, so the problem might be then the transport, but it's a very nice solution, and compared to the classical ceramics, it's more vandal resistant because you can repair it, it gets not broken, and especially is, as I mentioned before, it's antibacterial, and it's in that period a must. Public facilities generally have the problem that the user that are going to these places are not the classical home user, but might be problems to vandalism. There is a problem with explaining the people how to use the taps, and being specialized in this time and this special sector obviously gives us a big advantage, because our products are designed and styled to fit in these problem bathrooms, let's call it like this. Indicated for train stations, indicated for highways, indicated also for museums. It's probably not the classical public facility you have in mind, but normally a bit smaller, but generally they need to fulfill the same standards and the same norms from the hygienic point of view than the bigger facilities. A big part of our production are electronic taps. Here's the example of an inclined wash basin tap. The big advantage is that you don't need to touch the tap to open, and you don't need to touch it again to close it. That's a big advantage in sense of hygienic. Generally, our taps are all with a very poor and clean design that allows a better hygienic because it's easy to clean. Dirt is difficult that it sticks up on the tap. It needs to be self-explanatory, as I explained before. So you need to see the sensor, and if you don't see the sensor, if you put your hands under the wash basin, under the tap, it needs to open. That's very important. All our taps are equipped with a vandal-proof program. So after a certain while that you block the sensor, maybe by chewing gum or something else, the tap stops to aerogate water. So there's no water flow anymore. Once you remove the chewing gum, it would rework without any problem. This is a new tap we have presented this year. Here you can see all what I said before about our electronics. You have a very nice design. It's very round shaped, easy to clean. The tap is anti-vandal. You see the sensor. It's very easy to understand how it works. The water quantity runs through a very, very low volume. There are no stagnation traps inside the tap. And you can have the choice between a mixer, as here in the example, or just a cold water tap, or even a tap that has a pre-mixed position, and the water temperature would not be changing. You should be ready with this tap in autumn for the sales. All our electronic taps have an inbuilt automatic rise system. As you might know, Legionella is a problem in hospitals and in elderly homes, but generally it's a bacterium that is present in water, in all the waters, in a low concentration. As far as the concentration is low, there is no harm for any user. There are conditions that influence the contamination and help to proliferate this bacterium in the water. So the water temperature, if it's been between 20 and 45 degrees Celsius, is ideal for this bacterium to grow. And also, if the change of water is not done in a certain frequency, it gives you time to build up a higher concentration of this bacterium. And that's the reason why we said, okay, once in a while, and you can program that. Generally, it's 24 hours, but we have, as here in this example, also done for some hospital a special programmation of just 8 hours. So each 8 hours that the tap is not used, it opens for about 10 seconds, and the water that is inside the tap gets flushed out. And that prevents, obviously, a higher concentration of the Legionella bacterium. There is not just the hygienic or the cleaning aspects as a requirement for taps in sanitary facilities. There is obviously also the question of water gaining. Water gaining or water saving is not just an economic argument, but you need to take it also as an ethic aspect, because we should handle with responsibility with our nature resources. The next film is unfortunately just in Italian. Oops, there's running off. You still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let's start with a small film. This film is in Italian, but I will translate it directly for you, no problem. Let's go on. Tack. So this is the classical mono mixer lever tap, as you might know it from home. In this case, in this example, you need to touch the tap to open the water flow. You need to move the handle up. The tap in this case has a flow of 12 liters a minute, and during the period you wash your hands, which is about 60 seconds in this example, the tap is constantly open. So the consumption of water is quite high. You can see it on these 5 water drops. And the hygienic aspect, because you need also to touch the tap to close it once you have washed your hand, is quite bad, because in this situation you need to touch. Yes. Okay, let's go on. Well, the tap before was a self-closing tap, metering tap, demand tap. There are different names for it. The quantity of water running through is less because we can limit the water flow. The instant water flow is just 6 liters for a minute, and the time you need to tap open is obviously much less because it closes automatically. So the water consumption is much better, and also the hygienic aspect is much better because you don't need to touch it again to close the water. In the case of the electronic or sensor tap, you have the same quantity of water running through the tap constantly, but you have a less time you need to open the tap because it closes immediately when you, for example, take the cream from or the soap to wash your hands. You don't need to touch to open, you don't need to touch to close. That's obviously the perfect situation from the hygienic point of view, but also the consumption of water is really, really low. These type of taps, especially the taps from the self-closing principle, they are often used for showers. So you need to understand that we saw the consumption from the point of view of the volume of water running through. But especially if we're talking about showers, we need also to talk about the energy. These hot water or the warmer water you use normally to take a shower needs to be offered to get the water to that temperature. The less water you use, also in these conditions, obviously the less water you need to warm up, the less energy you need, and the better it is from the economical point of view, but also from the environmental point of view. Especially with that climate change, which is getting an important topic of the conversation in these days, a very small contribution from everybody, not wasting the hot water. Another innovative product, which is quite remarkable, we presented it in the last exhibition we participated. Unfortunately, it's already 2019. It's a combination of the best of two worlds. It's a bit the self-closing tap that helps to gain water to save water, and also the thermostatic technique to contain the temperature. It's a security device inside inbuilt, and it keeps you the temperature of the water constant, even if there are pressure drops from the hot or from the cold side. This product has the RAS certification. It has been chosen from a famous English newspaper, the HV News, getting the award of the year 2020 in the category pipework. So it's a very, very interesting product. And we obviously would recommend this in spaces, public places where you need to pay attention to security and to water. One of these places where you can use it is in a hospital. We are offering a range of solutions for hospital, especially hygienic aspects are important. Also, the safety aspect is an important argument in the hospital. The hospital generally is divided in the operational part, so where the doctors are washing their hands, where there are the clinical personnel, employees are washing their hands, and then there is the part where the people are normally in their rooms, they have a bathroom. And these two different situations needs to be equipped, especially with products that are, from the hygienic aspect, the best you can get. And obviously also from the safe use, it needs to be, especially for the patient, for the rooms of the people, it needs to be quite right in the design. Our hospital taps are generally equipped with a long lever. This permits the user in case it's a doctor, they use their elbows. And why can they use their elbows? Because we are using not the classical cartridges, but we are using progressive cartridges. Let me explain to you the difference. A classical mixer, you have left and right to get the temperature, hotter or colder. And then you have generally the upper and down position for opening the volume and changing the volume of the water. In our case, you don't change the water volume. You just turn the tap, the head and the lever in anti-clockwise. And in this condition, the more you turn this cap, the more the water gets warm. But the quantity of water is constant. It's progressive getting warmer. So it's a temperature progressive and it's not a water progressive in sense of volume. This is easy to use with an elbow. You can try it at home. Try to open your tap with a classical mono mixer. Try to open it with an elbow and regulate the temperature. It's much more than difficult. I can guarantee you that. An example of a project we did together with ITD in South Africa. It's the Children's Hospital Nelson Mandela. And in this hospital, we equipped different sites. In this example, it's a wash basin for the hospital staff, and they use a long lever mixer. In this case, it's a normal mixer. And the reason why they didn't use the progressive mixer is because the South African standard does not foresee today a progressive mixer, which is a pity. I know that there are some clever people working on the standard to get that done. But it takes some time, and let's hope that they will be quick. Another nice project we did together, one of the earliest, is this Christian Reformed Church close to Pretoria. We learned a lot in this. We learned also a lot of the state of knowledge of the South African plumbers because there were some difficulties to explain to them how to install our products. But at the end, this helped us also to learn how to introduce our products to the market and to get the quality of the installation better. Another nice product installed in this wall is a classical self-closing tap. You can see it on the left side as a basin tap. We sell a lot of those taps, around 100,000 of those type in the whole world. Unfortunately, just a small part in South Africa, but I'm quite confident that this will getting better. On the other wall, you can see concealed urinal taps. Also, these are using the same self-closing technique. This is an example of a nursing home close to our plant. It's about 50, 70 kilometers from here. We have equipped in this facility not just the taps, but also the WCs. You can see the mirror. The wash basin is a very large and flat wash basin, but installed with some brackets to permit people to lean on. You can see also the siphon trap that has a special form to permit wheelchair users to put there directly under the wash basin. You can see there are a lot of small details you might not imagine in such a type of a facility, but which is obviously all from our side equipped and foreseen in the project. This is a quite recent project. You can see a wash basin wall installed, classical electronic. So you open with a sensor. On the side, you have a soap dispenser. Seems to be also that a tap, but the client wanted to have it directly installed on the same plate with a slightly different design in size to permit the user to understand what is water and what is soap. The funny thing is that the smaller thing is the water on the right side, and the left, which is closer to our point of view, is the soap dispenser. But well, again, we are quite custom orientated, and if the customer needs for his use something special, we are ready to follow him in his project. That's also a nice product we have developed probably about 10 years ago. There was the fashion of delivering not just the part of the taps for elderly people, but also for kindergartens and the smaller children. So in this case, it had been installed in the children's hospital, exactly in the rooms where the children are then washing their hands because unfortunately some children are ill and they need to stay in the hospital for a longer period. And in this case, we had this client dedicating to them these type of tap. As I mentioned, we do our business in the whole world, not just in South Africa, Europe, but also in the Arabic countries. Unfortunately, we do not get often the backflow of information where our products are installed. That's always a bit a guess. Normally you get that only if you have a problem. Then the people, they contact you asking you a solution, and probably they tell you what is wrong and where it is installed. If everything went wrong, everything went okay and is fine, in this case, the information from the client does not come back, and so that's just a small choice of our small preparation and small presentation of our clients' installation places. Well, the IDRAL team, as you can see, is ready to help and find the right solution for the needs of you. But obviously, we are not alone. Huh? We are working together with Italtile in South Africa since 2012. There were some contacts even before, but let's say since 2012 there is a stronger belief that we are the right partners for that business. We have a really strong relationship, and there are frequent visitors from both sides, especially before Corona. Now in these days a bit more difficult, but also the organization of that webinar of our event today is a sign of that collaboration. And that means that you have obviously our products now certificated for the South African market. We have those products also certified in Europe for other markets, but again, also for the ASPCS, we have now all the documents. The point is that the South African standards are not always up to date. So if you have a building certification, let's say a green building or LEED or BREEAM, or there are different ones for each part of the world. Obviously, we are able to produce taps that are fulfilling these needs. That's easy for us and quite simple. The problem is that the Australian standard does not foresee these type of limitations. So if you want to gain water and maybe reduce the flow time of a demand tap or flow quantity of a demand tap or metering tap to a smaller amount, then you have a conflict with your national standards. And this is, unfortunately, it happens already in the past. But again, it's something we need to know, it's something we can work about, and we find a solution also for that type of issue. But our business is not just selling and maybe also developing products, but we are also rightly active in assistance, satisfaction of all involved parties. For us, it's important. You can contact us by email or by telephone. You can find the right partner also locally with ITD. They are skilled people, trained. They know about our products, and they can give you a first assistance. And this is an important fact. And you don't need us to consider part of the other side of the world. You have a valid support also in South Africa. We are doing, in this case, we're trying to do training. We do that also to plumbers. We do that also to architects and planners. We do tutorials you can find on the web, in YouTube, films, how to program our sensors. You can see how to clean and maintain our products. There are a lot of information available. We are present in all the social media news, not in all, but at least in the most important. This is quite important also for getting maybe our newsletter. We are generally distributing information in Italian, but also in English monthly. And quite interested arguments. Not always everybody's interested in the same, but I would say that our newsletter is not so bad. I would say that at that time, I would say I was ending with this, and I hope you have enjoyed our little tour. If you have obviously questions or you're curious to learn more about our products, I would be happy to answer. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jürgen. I'm going to ask the floor if they have any direct questions they want to ask you. It does not look like it. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. One thing I must say, as I was just telling Nicole here next to me, is there were a couple of times when we had technical problems in South Africa where I went to site. And I was just telling her now that Jürgen is very accessible at IDRAL. There were a couple of times when I made a video call to Jürgen and indicated to him on a video call what the problem was, and we fixed it right there and then, because he could go into the factory and he could show me what to look at. And therefore we have got a very close relationship with him, and the technical support I can say is at a very high level. Jürgen, thanks for your time. Thanks for presenting this to us, and it was very nice seeing you again.
Yeah, nice pleasure to me, and greetings to South Africa.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, thank you.